Well, good evening, everyone, and I want to, of course, thank everyone, especially in Long Beach, and we wanted to make sure we gave a final update tonight, and of course, answered any questions from the media. I want to just begin, most importantly, by thanking the Long Beach Police Department and the Long Beach Fire Department for just incredibly heroic work over these last 48 hours, especially. Since the initial peaceful protest began yesterday with good intentions, with a great message, our Long Beach Police Department and our Long Beach firefighters have been working incredibly hard to keep this community safe. I want to just start by saying, and I want to reiterate because I think it's important, that with the dark and violent looting that happened yesterday night, we still had, in my opinion, an incredible response from our community, from our amazing police and fire department, and it's been great to see them come together and the city come together also this morning to really take care of the community the day after. As a reminder, there's been no loss of life in Long Beach due to the tragic events of yesterday, and we only had one major structure fire. The Long Beach Fire Department did an amazing job of putting out smaller fires that were happening across the city, and so I want to thank them again for that incredible work. I also want to just discuss today and some of what's going on. I want to just first say that tonight has generally been a good night and a good day. I want to thank you all for following, of course, the curfew, which has been in place citywide since 4 p.m. and 1 p.m. in our business districts. As of right now, the city has had no looting incidents that we are yet aware of. There have been, I will say, reports on social media and on other platforms of looting happening in the city. And then when police get out there, it wasn't a looting incident or it was another type of incident. And so there's a lot of rumors out there about what's happening where, but to be very clear, there have been no major incidents tonight, and we hope that it remains that way throughout the evening. There still have been, since yesterday, a total of 85 arrests that have been made citywide, and our chief can talk about those. But I also want just to add that we have done, in partnership, worked with our community to close down certain streets in the city, in some of our business districts, just to add an additional layer of safety. And we also want to thank the National Guard for their additional support of supporting the police department. I want to thank Governor Newsom, who I spoke with earlier today, who, of course, is always interested in how all of our cities are doing. Civil unrest has been occurring not just, of course, in Long Beach, but as you have seen tonight, also in Los Angeles and up and down the Bay Area and the state of California, and also across the country. Want to also just say that it's incredibly important tonight, as this evening goes on in the next few hours and it turns into morning, that everyone please stay home. It's the absolute best thing that you can do to ensure that the Long Beach Police Department and the Fire Department can get around the city quickly and take care of our needs. We have our full force out with both police and fire, making sure that everyone is safe and that we all remain safe. And that's how we want to keep it all night. We will, of course, be able to report tomorrow how the evening went, but so far, I think we're all cautiously optimistic that the work that is happening on the ground is paying off, and that all of you in the community are doing the right thing. And so let's get through this together. We know we still have a lot of work to do in our community to get back to a peaceful message of uplifting the injustices that we have in our country and in our world. And I'm very grateful to all of you for today and for the community coming together to clean up and repair the city the way that you all did today. So thank you. I want to turn this over to the chief, who's going to say a few words as well.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor indicated this, but I want to re-emphasize it. The last 24 hours were difficult, but today, as I stand in front of you, we're in a much better place. Very happy to report that. And we don't have any protest, at least that we're aware of, at least none scheduled, but we are prepared and ready to respond to anything that may pop up. We have a lot of police officers out tonight. And if I can ask you for a huge favor, the city does have a curfew in place. We want voluntary compliance. We want you to stay inside. That's safe for everybody. The last thing we want to do is make an arrest or issue a citation. But if people are out and they're violating the curfew and they're not supposed to be out, you will be stopped. You will be either cited and or arrested. I did make mention that we have a significant amount of police resources out in the entire city. We're going to emphasize, or we have emphasized with our officers, to make sure that they are patrolling not only our business corridors, but all of our neighborhoods, and that they, whenever they get a chance, to get out of their police cars and engage our community. So if you see officers out there, you may have questions for them. You may have questions about everyday things. You may have questions about the use of force, the reason why so many people have been protesting. Please ask them. We've instructed all of them to engage people in conversation, get to know them. You may be surprised how much you may have in common with them. But again, we're a great city. And we had a little bump in the road yesterday, but we're very strong. I'm so proud of this community. If you go back to the last several months, dealing with COVID, dealing with all the challenges we are dealing with together, we're doing so well as a city. And we continue to do well, and I have no doubt that in the future we'll come together. The mayor mentioned it earlier, the cleanup that took place in our downtown area, absolutely the true spirit of Long Beach, and that was amazing to see. So with that, a couple of things I'd like to mention before I close and turn it back over to the mayor is the city manager, Mr. Modica, and I were at our emergency operations center this morning, and we visited. There must have been 60 to 70 employees there, and as you can remember from a lot of the announcements the mayor's made, we've been all in with the COVID response as a city, and I think we've been doing a really good job. Every Monday, our employees report to the Emergency Operations Center where they coordinate our efforts, our response. Well, starting the last couple of days, they have shifted their focus, not completely away from COVID. We're absolutely still paying attention to that, but we've shifted our focus to these issues or these challenges that we've been dealing with the last 48 to 72 hours. So we will continue to monitor the situation regionally and nationally. Unfortunately, before coming in here, we were watching TV reports that there was civil unrest again in the city of Los Angeles at a variety of locations, and unfortunately there was looting there as well. It's sad, but you don't see these protests, it appears, without seeing looting. And I believe there was one out in Riverside. So let's pray that we get through this night without any protest, without any violence. Let me take that back. I just said without protest. Protests are okay as long as they are done in a peaceful manner. But there is a curfew, so be very cautious. But no violence. And then we'll take it one day at a time, and we're going to be bouncing back. With that, thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll turn it back over to the mayor.
Thank you very much, Chief. And again, just to reiterate that, I think we're really proud of the entire team, and we'll take some. If there's any questions, Jake, we'll take those.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. The first question is from Kelly from the Long Beach Post. Go ahead, Kelly.
Yes, hi, Mayor. Do we know if we're going to have a curfew tomorrow or how long this curfew is going to stay in place? And also, it's a second question. The president said some kind of incendiary comments today about possibly sending the military into cities to restore order. Just wanted to get your take on that and Long Beach's response to that.
Well, as far as the curfew extending beyond tomorrow morning, that's a decision that will be made tomorrow. But as of now, the curfew extends till the morning. We have closed some additional city facilities tomorrow. I think that's been public, including City Hall, and some employees will not be working there. We'll have some remote. But we believe that for the most part, that decision will come in the morning. As far as comments from the president, to be very honest, we have been completely focused on our response right now here in Long Beach, so I have not personally heard exactly what was said tonight. I'm hearing reports, but I don't know exactly what was said. What I can say broadly is it's not a moment, I think, in our nation's history to have comments that are divisive or that are bringing people apart. I think we have to recognize that in this moment, we have a country that is hurting, that is seeking justice, and that is seeking reconciliation as it relates to our country's past in race, and with dealing with despair amongst so many of our community, and particularly Black Americans. And so right now, our emphasis in Long Beach has to first and foremost be the safety of our community as this crisis is taking place, including the health crisis that we're in, but also never forgetting that we have this larger issue in this country that you're seeing play out across the country. So I don't know what the comments were that were made tonight. I will read them later, but it is we need to be positive in supporting this country, not tearing it apart.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The next question is going to be from Haley from the Press Telegram. Go ahead, Haley.
Hi, I have a couple questions about the National Guard deployment. First of all, do you have a sense right now of how long these 100 troops might be in Long Beach? And second, I know there was a deployment of 50 troops, I believe, in April for coronavirus response. So are those troops still here, and is there any crossover in that mission?
I'm not sure that there's any crossover in the mission. I don't believe there is. As far as the troops that are here, we're very grateful to them. I want to just reemphasize that the National Guard have a statewide mission. They're not just in Long Beach. I mean, they are all up and down the state of California right now. And so they have also resources that they're trying to deploy at appropriate levels. As far as them being here, the chief has asked that they remain here as long as they can. And if there's anything in addition to add to that.
I can add.
Go ahead.
To it. Regarding the question about the missions with the separate missions with the National Guard, the first deployment of National Guard that the city of Long Beach requested, they were here for a humanitarian mission. And actually, the ones that are deployed now are part of a medical contingency, and they've been a great, they've assisted us in many ways, and we're very happy that we had them here with us. The National Guard that arrived here in Long Beach last night had a completely different mission, a different group of individuals, and they were here to help us provide security. They're currently still here. We've asked them, we didn't only ask them to come, but we've asked them to stay to make sure that everything goes okay. That deployment will be consistent with the previous question that was asked, and the mayor was right on when he talked about the curfew. The curfew will be evaluated every day. But remember, we're part of a region, of a large metropolitan area. So we're always paying attention to what our neighbors are doing, specifically in the county of Los Angeles, the city of Los Angeles. So we'll take all those factors into consideration when we're evaluating whether we continue with the curfew or not to mention everything happening in the field.
Any other questions?
That's the end of questions from the actual media. We are getting a lot of questions on Facebook from our media about fireworks, Chief. There's a lot of questions that are going on right now about illegal fireworks. Can you comment on the fireworks here in Long Beach and the importance of maintaining and watching those as a consideration?
Those fireworks are very irritating for all of us who live here in the city or anywhere. They wake us up at night. Usually at this time of the year, and this year is no different, we are working with our partners over at the fire department, and we become very proactive about 30 to 45 days out. And what we do is we're making sure that we're looking we're very vigilant about people who are selling any kind of fireworks in our city. It is a known fact that fireworks are dangerous other than being irritating. And we, the police department and our fire department, work very hard to try and get them off the street. And in the last several years, both departments have been very impactful in either purchasing and or arresting individuals who are selling them. So if you're out there selling fireworks and you're selling them anywhere close to Long Beach, don't be surprised if you may be selling them to an undercover police officer. And there are significant fines for selling fireworks. So a caution to you, we take them very serious, and we've arrested and cited many people and have confiscated thousands of pounds of fireworks.
Thank you. We're going to conclude. I know we want to get back. There's a lot of work still ahead for the evening. Let me just conclude by saying this, and that is number one is to stay safe, stay home. And the second thing is just do not forget that not only are we dealing with the civil unrest issue, not just here locally, across the state of California, we're dealing with an enormous health challenge. And I know that we are right now absorbed with the crisis in front of us, but we have a serious COVID-19 crisis that is still in front of us. We have people being hospitalized every day. People are dying up and down the state of California. And we have to also remember to continue to do the right thing as it relates to the health of our city. And I am very concerned about what our COVID numbers as a region, and certainly here locally, and how that is going to look in the weeks ahead. And the most vulnerable in our community still are counting on us to do the right thing. So please stay safe, and we look forward to continue to update the community in the days ahead. Thank you.